What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now, with Survivor Series just over a week away, what will the WWE do to hype this year's inter-brand clashes? Well, join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Keith Lee lied about WWE, as Nia Jax quit wrestling, a WWE superstars whose career ended returning to the ring, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also, be sure to check us out on TikTok. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, changing things up. Last night's opening segment involving Roman Reigns excelled because it never took place. As good as Reigns and his tribal chief gimmick has been, it's become repetitive having him open every episode of Smackdown. Last night, the WWE changed things up with a gathering of the Smackdown women's team and the chaos that ensued when Sasha Banks confronted Shotzi and a disgruntled Naomi crashed the proceedings. This led to a predictable but fun brawl followed by a 6-person tag match that delivered the goods. Number 2, women's division gets spotlight. Indeed, the Blue Brand's writers went out of their way to feature the women's division, not only adding some intrigue as to who will replace Alia on the Blue Brand's team, but furthering the feuds between Naomi and Sonya Deville, as well as Deville's enforcer Shayna Baszler, and the blooming program between Shotzi and Sasha Banks. They even dug up Toni Storm to confront SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte, planting the seeds for an eventual program. Number 3, setting the stage. Watching last night's show, it was abundantly clear that WWE invested time crafting storylines to build up this SmackDown's various matches. Sami Zayn's amusing speech with himself and Jeff Hardy's subsequent mocking of it led to Zayn and Hardy battling to see who would stay on the men's SmackDown team and who would get the night off. They also teased the possibility that authority figure Adam Pearce might replace Zayn with NXT superstar Von Wagner. They upped the stakes for Roman and Xavier Woods by stipulating Roman would be stripped of his Universal Championship if he didn't live up to the match's stipulation, and that the loser would bow down to the winner. There was a lot going on, but it all made sense. Nothing seemed rushed and it led to some great matches. Number 4, Los Lotharios' pushes continues. Los Lotharios' pushes continued last night with a definitive win over Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. While it wouldn't surprise us that Los Lotharios were hastily thrown together because McMahon didn't know what to do with them, it's clear that the team is a keeper. Both Carrillo and Angel Garza are a team to watch, not only because they work well together in the ring and have good speed and fluidity seen in the best teams, but to see whether the WWE will give them a proper push or pull the plug on them after Vince McMahon finds a new toy, i.e. a new team to play with. And number 5, all hail King Roman. Last night's match between Xavier Woods and Roman Reigns was exciting to watch in the ring, and it did two things particularly well. It elevated Xavier Woods as a singles competitor who can go toe-to-toe with the world champion, and it demonstrated Reigns' ability to twist the rules in his favor. Reigns lost the match by DQ, which meant he had to bow down to Xavier Woods or lose his Universal Championship, which fans knew would never happen, especially via stipulation. Reigns bowed, but as he did, the Usos placed Woods' crown on his head, with the tribal chief getting one over not only on Woods, but every member of the New Day. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Roman Reigns' first 2021 loss is a DQ. As entertaining as the idea of Reigns losing yet coming out on top was, it raises the question more fans are asking, when is Roman Reigns ever going to lose? Now, we've reported that the WWE has no intention of Reigns losing in the near future, and after a year, it's becoming a little boring. Last night's finish was good and it showed Reigns' craftiness, but it also hinted that the tribal chief is walking out of Survivor Series as the winner. Number 2, sorry-ass Survivor Series hype. They did make some headway with its Survivor Series build-up, adding some twists and turns to who will be on the teams featuring the Blue Brand's male and female teams, but despite this, SmackDown hasn't given any reason for fans to want to get attached to either brand. Of course, the big problem is that winning a match at Survivor Series means absolutely nothing, and even the idea of bragging rights has never been explored. Fans and critics have been saying this for years, but the WWE's lack of fixing this demonstrates the promotion's lackadaisical approach to things. Why not revisit an idea like in 2004 and 2014 Survivor Series, where the winning teams achieve something such as controlling Raw for 4 weeks or eliminating the Authority? Another sign of the weak build-up is the WWE rushing things. Watching the events play out between the Bloodline and the New Day, it's clear the WWE has the right idea building up Reigns versus Biggie, having Reigns make life miserable for Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in order to anger Biggie and get him to lose focus. The problem is that Biggie hasn't had a chance to confront Reigns about them yet. It's possible he'll show up next week, but they could have had him show up last night. Likewise, there's been no confrontations between any of the Raw and SmackDown teams. Now, there was nothing downright ugly, as last night's show was solid from start to finish, despite the weak Survivor Series build-up. Smackdown hit it out of the park, continuing its build-up for new stars and teams, developing the women's division and exploring the undercard programs. They even had some unintentional humor when Jinder Mahal and Shanky rapped on the hit row, at one point calling them the fringe row. Yeah, it is PG WWE after all, yeah? As crazy as it may seem, the idea of Mahal and Shanky rapping could get over, much like Miz and Morrison's rap game. What did you guys think of SmackDown last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, our first story looks at Keith Lee lying about WWE. Topping the news today is a story concerning recently released superstar Keith Lee and his claims that the WWE did not pay his medical bills during his time he was dealing with a life-threatening COVID-related illness. Andrew Zarian of the Madman Wrestling podcast reached out to the WWE about this claim, and now they issued the following statement. Keith Lee's recent comments implying WWE failed to pay his medical bills are erroneous. WWE has an extensive healthcare program for the medical care of its in-ring performers, and Mr. Lee was part of this program while with the company. Should Mr. Lee have any concerns over the payment of medical bills, he is welcome to address them with the WWE. While they often keep details of how they treat its wrestlers a secret, the general belief is that WWE will cover any medical expenses incurred during an in-ring injury as opposed to a wrestler breaking their leg while skateboarding. The response is vague enough that they can claim to have an extensive health program without admitting or denying it paid for Mr. Lee's treatment for his COVID-related illness. But while Lee may be angry with the WWE for releasing them, it's unknown why he would risk making a false statement, possibly leading to legal action about the company. Do you guys think WWE is telling the truth? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Sasha vs Trish Stratus happening? A Trish Stratus' dream match against Charlotte Flair at 2019 SummerSlam is still highly regarded, and now it looks like fans could get some stratisfaction from watching Trish battle the boss. There's been talk of the two tangling ever since Stratus and Banks confronted each other at 2018's Royal Rumble, and as noted by Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens, Stratus recently appeared on Toronto's Vibe 105 sports show and said the idea of a match with Banks appealed to her. During a recent appearance on the Kurt Angle show, Banks revealed, "I'm so glad to hear that she is down. I know she is booked and busy. I know that she's a mother, but Trish again, whenever you're ready, give me a call. I am best friends with Vince. I know that you're not. I have his number on speed dial, so if you need it, you can give her my number. You can text me if you have it, slide into my DMs, I'll let him know. It'll make millions, baby. This is going to be the greatest match of all time, so let's do it. Trish, get done with that work, put the kids to bed, and come fight me." Would you guys like to see these two collide? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Nia Jax done with wrestling? Is Nia Jax leaving wrestling? Well, a recent Instagram post from Jax shows her in lingerie with the message, "Lena here." A recent post from Ringside News speculated that this could be a hint as to Jax's future, as prior to entering WWE, Nia Jax was a model. It appears that she could be going right back to that profession. What do you guys think? Is Jax done with wrestling? And finally, a WWE superstar whose career ended is returning to the ring? And last but not least, while fans ponder Nia Jax's in-ring future, current announcer Corey Graves has fans talking after he tweeted the following: "I kinda wanna wrestle again." Graves won the 24/7 championship recently in an impromptu scuffle with a 24/7 contender crew, but quickly lost it. Could he return despite sustaining several concussions? Well, that's a question that must be answered along with whether the WWE wants him in the ring. Are they willing to take the risk? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.